Prosecutors in Massachusetts are basing their murder case against a man whose wife is presumed dead, but whose body has not been found, in large part on a series of gruesome internet searches he made around the time of her disappearance. Scouring data on personal electronic devices is a common strategy in criminal cases, but experts warn that incriminating searches are not enough alone to build a solid case. It would be very challenging to try and base a criminal investigation on just what somebody searched for on the internet, said Jennifer Lynch, the surveillance litigation director of the Electronic Frontier Foundation. Brian Walsh used Google to look up ways to dismember and dispose of a body, including how long before a body starts to smell, hacks a best tool to dismember, and 10 ways to dispose of a dead body if you really need to, a prosecutor said when Walsh was arraigned Jan. 18 in connection with the presumed death of Anna Walsh. Not guilty pleas were entered on Brian Walsh's behalf. Anna Walsh, a mother of 3, was reportedly last seen leaving the family's home in Cohasset, south of Boston, in the early morning hours of Jan. 1. She was her way to the airport for a flight to Washington, where she worked for a real estate company, authorities said. She was reported missing by her employer Jan. 4. In the Walsh case, the defense will likely bring in its own expert to attack the reliability of the search evidence at trial, which could be years away, said Rachel Fissett, a Los Angeles-based defense attorney. But the whole of the evidence may be too much to overcome. I am having a hard time, other than the fact that there is nobody seeing how Brian Walsh will defend this case, unless he claims self-defense or insanity. These searches are really bad. Lynch warned about intrusive searches of what is essentially free speech. Just because someone searches for something potentially illegal online, it is not evidence that they intend to commit a crime, she said. We all need to worry about the police having access to our search queries because they reveal so much private information about us. So many of our search queries are just idle curiosity. The tech giant publishes regular transparency reports in which it discloses the number of requests made by governments for user information and the number of accounts subject to those requests. For the 6-month period from July to December 2021, the most recent period for which the information is available, Google received nearly 47,000 requests for information in the U.S., and in 84% of those, some data was produced. Government agencies from around the world ask Google to disclose user information. We carefully review each request to make sure it satisfies applicable laws. If a request asks for too much information, we try to narrow it. There is legal precedent in Massachusetts of securing a murder conviction even when the victim's remains are never found, and the internet searches could help overcome the lack of a body. Northeastern University School of Law professor Daniel Medwood said. A Quincy man was convicted in 2002 of killing his wife, whose body was never found after she was last seen leaving her construction job site. 27, 1998. It's an obstacle, Medwood said. In any nobody case, there is going to be doubt. In Brian Walsh's case, there is evidence in his search history of marital discord. He also looked up divorce terms. Medwood said prosecutors have additional evidence of Brian Walsh's trips to home improvement stores for cleaning supplies the day after Anna Walsh was last seen, as well as blood and DNA evidence that was found on some of Anna Walsh's personal belongings recovered from a trash facility. You add all that together and you create narrative. Walsh's attorney has not commented on the specifics of the evidence, but has said that her client has cooperated with investigators. I am not going to comment on the evidence, first because I am going to try this case in the court and not in the media.